and welcome back to From the Depths, campaign number 3 for real this time. So, I have come to liberty of actually completing the new battleship. As you can see here, we are currently retrofitting it due to the repair tentacles and other such devices on the starting fortress here, and our lovely little cram cannon is getting in my view. How cool. So anyway, if I let this build up, we can see the changes that I've made. As you can see, this is a completed hull, which hopefully it'll get its water pumps soon so that it doesn't sink to the bottom of the sea. However, this ship is a little bit more expensive than I had previously anticipated and hoped for. It is coming in at around 70,000 or so resources, and that is very loud. Okay. But this ship is fully functional. I have all the AI set up properly as I like to do. I have all of the guns improperly emplaced, and in fact it does have quite a successful little weapon system. As you can see here, the advanced cannons are being built up as my computer dies in the lag that's produced by this immense repairing cycle. But the ship is actually completed now, so a small tour here in a moment. Okay, now that that is completed, I can show you what we have made here today. Now this is the hull and keel that I was working on the last time that you saw this ship. It is in fact fully decked out and armored up. As you can see, the layers of armor here, the heavy armor on the inside where the citadel protection would normally be on one of these, but I didn't really have the resources because this thing's already costing 71,000 materials. I figured we might as well protect the sides here, and then all the important stuff is going to be put in this main block here. Now the turrets themselves, they do have a little bit of a barbette armor here, as you can see. It's just some light alloy protecting the actual gun emplacement. And oh wow, that is loud. Okay. Well, the ship should be filling up with material as I speak, and in fact it is not quite doing that yet. I have not set the actual abilities of it to take material in the menu here, so let me just grab full of material on you. Oh my goodness, that is quite a lot of material you're eating. Good sir, but that's okay. This is our new pre-dreadnought battleship. I said that I would complete this last time, and I did. I am quite proud of this particular ship, as it is actually quite quick. What I mean by that is, if I can get to the bridge tower without getting stuck on the turret, and you go up here, a lovely ladder that makes you hit your face and die every time you use it. We set main drives to 100%, and we go out, and we can see that our speed is maxing out at around 25 meters per second. This is a very fast for a battleship that is this, well, small, I suppose I should say. But it does maneuver quite well. The turning radius is quite small, as you could imagine with a ship that's this short. If I went slower, however, it would be even faster. But the basic idea behind this ship, again, is to soak the damage while also being able to deal out quite a bit of decent damage in return. These gun systems, they are custom tuned to be, well, heavily damaging to certain targets and not so much to other targets. However, they are a bit lacking when it comes to the damage factor, especially for their reload of 4 seconds long. I will show you the other weapon systems in a second. Wow, that steam system is loud. Okay, let's get away from that then. So, this is one of the main guns. We obviously have 2 of these, as was designed for specifically this ship. As you can see, they fire nice and fast. You can't even see the shells anymore. And their reload is only 4 seconds long or so. Here's the stats here. 236mm guns, so not the smallest in the world, not the biggest in the world. I would have preferred to get these bigger, but I just couldn't quite get them to be tuned exactly the way I wanted them to, especially with this small of a turret cap, as this is only about 7 blocks wide or so, and there's really not a whole lot I can do in this tiny little space here. But these do extremely good damage against wooden targets and softer alloy targets, and they can do quite a bit of burst damage against actual metal targets and enemies like that. There are secondary guns on the side here, most notably these 40mm Bofors, which are basically acting as our, oh, this armor is exposed, and then these guns come in and they will rip apart the insides of an actual little ship. These torpedoes here on the sides, they're along the same premise as the secondary guns, where they can swing out and fire at 180-degree arcs or so, and they will do damage to the bottom hulls of ships and hopefully sink them from underneath the waves, instead of actually having to punch through all that armor with these guns to get to their critical systems. This is a small engine here. As you can probably hear, the small steam pistons and the boilers running pretty hard right now. These are set to be the most efficient they can be, at least as far as the burn rate is concerned. I have it set at 0.78 on the actual steam controller, meaning that it will 0.78 of materials for a bit of thrust here. Now these massive pipes, they're actually quite simple. This is the multiple expansion steam engine system that I may have been talking about in the last episode of this campaign series, where it recycles steam from one piston and uses it to push down the second piston, and so on and so forth. I have each one of these is a set of 3 that I have set up here to take the steam from the first one, put it to the second one, and then take that one to the third one, and then recycle the original boiler steam onto the next one after that, and keep repeating the process all the way down 3 times down. So we have 3 sets of steam on each side that is actually propelling the ship with these large propellers in the rear. Still haven't gone and done any medium or large steam systems yet, because, well, this ship does not need a large steam system. That would probably be the entire length of the ship, putting a large steam system in there, since they are so utterly, ridiculously huge. As you can see, my lovely little character here, I believe it's a Rambot, as it's called in this game, is sitting on the front, so you get an accurate size scale between the person and the actual ship. All weapons are controlled by the AI. All weapons do fire in their correct arcs, and they are quite effective against enemy warships. Now, I want to deploy this ship along with the wooden missile fleet on the front lines, because, well, that is what it's designed to do, is it not? It's designed to take the damage, and it's designed to assist our lovely little missile craft in their campaign against the Deepwater Guard at the moment. So, here we have our Sinner's Outpost that we captured a couple of episodes ago. The craft is, while it's quite efficient as far as the resources it takes up versus the resources it gathers are concerned, it's just kind of a big chunk, and a big chunk is not exactly what I'm looking for as far as efficiency is concerned, which is why I was talking about scrapping the starter fortress a couple episodes ago. Now, the Sinner's Outpost itself is, if we look in the little thing here, it is worth exactly 30,000 materials. Well, that is quite a lot of materials for this early game, and it does look like the resource zone as it's sitting on is actually an infinite one, or at least it's a finite one with a lot of resource material left to gather. So, we will see exactly what we can do to make this structure a more efficient one. And if I go ahead and I get a new structure on here, I will come back once the old structure is scrapped and the new one is begun. Okay, so as you can see, we have the new keel of a cargo vessel, as I would like to build here. The cargo vessel will be able to not only extract resources from a resource zone such as this, it will also be able to transfer supplies to the front line, such as other vehicles, like the fleet over there that we have positioned on the airship gantry. This cargo vessel, I'm hoping, will be quite slow or maybe fast. It doesn't really matter, actually. And I'd like it to be extremely cheap to build and extremely cheap to maintain. So I'm thinking maybe we go with RTGs as just a kind of an infinite power source, though it will cost a lot at the beginning. It won't cost that much to actually maintain because it is free power after all. And well, I hope to actually use this in a non-combative mode, so I'm not going to bother putting any weapons on it, although I might end up putting on a little bit of anti-aircraft armament as well as some secondary guns in case we do end up getting this thing caught in a battle. And please do excuse the camera bobbing. There's not much I can do about it, as the ship is very, very bouncy at the moment. I will be adjusting this later, so it won't actually bounce around once we're done with it. But for now, we're just going to have to live with it. So I will go ahead and I will build up a little bit more of this hull, and I will cut back once that is completed. In the middle of building, it appears we have been blockaded by an enemy Conger at our airship gantry. Unfortunately, that means that we're going to have to stop what we're doing and go into a battle here. Although our battleship is in position here, or coming to be in position, and I will go ahead and position my own missile fleet in actual action here. And hopefully we can get to there in time before we actually get this destroyed. Although it does look like we are going to make it. Ah, yes. The enemy has come to our doorstep. What exactly is this? It looks like an airship of some sort. In fact, it is worth 176,000 materials. Oh boy. Okay, so that is definitely worth capturing.
Yes?
I would like you to stay out of the battle. How do I keep you out of the battle? Okay. And here we go. So, what is this thing that is worth so much? Oh, that is an airship that is kind of scary looking, actually. Ah, no. Leave me alone. It does look like we have to turn our missile cruisers on to actually fight back, though our battleship is doing an excellent job at destroying the enemy craft. Hopefully we can bring it down and I can actually salvage this before it dies, hopefully. It does look like it's going down, and we are going to be able to actually steal it, so let's turn our ships off for the moment. And hopefully I can find the AI on this thing before it does too much damage to our enemy ships, or our friendly ships, excuse me. Oh dear, this is going to be a bit of a doozy. This looks like a citadel. Oh, frick. No, are we going to find the AI? No. Is that it? I don't know, I can't tell. Well, that was unfortunate. I don't believe we gained anything from that. But that's okay. Our battleship appears to have also decided to run aground. I'm not certain why it keeps doing that, or all my ships keep running aground. But, who cares? This is a good, successful first test of this new ship, as I don't believe we took actually any real damage. I mean, we've been pounded pretty hard in the side here, and our gun systems were working overtime to actually destroy that enemy, but I do believe that we have successfully completed our first battle. This ship, of course, wants to give the battleship a hug, apparently. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to repair up the fleet, and I will be back and we will start building this ship up. And oh my god, it's a lot of materials. Okay, so I have the hull spawned back in here again, so we will be able to actually work on this now, and hopefully we don't get interrupted by random people destroying our airship gantry this time. However, I have the fleet now positioned correctly over there, as you can see, so it will hopefully intercept anything that's coming for the airship gantry now. I'm going to go ahead and finish up the rest of this hull design, and I will come back once we have a functional-ish cargo vessel. As you can see, we have our various cargo containers and storage modules as needed. We are fully loaded at 129,000, or not fully loaded, but we are, well, we'll get there. because we do have quite a lot of resources still on this resource module here, on this actual resource zone, excuse me. So we won't actually have that much issue filling this little cargo ship up. Okay, so the basic hull design is completed, and this is going to be nothing at all special, just a giant wooden box in the middle of the ocean. Now, I have been doing most of my building off camera and just editing it out, so I do want to hear your opinion. If you want to see more building, then please let me know. I can always strive to do better. And also, the secondary gun idea, I do believe is probably going to end up happening, because just look at the amount of resource materials that we have to store on this thing. I mean, I don't really want to lose that, so I do suppose that I'm going to have at least a deck gun or two, or maybe an AA gun of sorts on this ship. Now, I do have plans to make this move. I think we're just going to end up using RTGs because it's already so cheap. It's only about 1,400 materials as far as the total cost is concerned. So if I just put an RTG on there, it'll only be a couple hundred more, and we can just use regular propellers instead of actually having to invest in a large steam system or maybe a small fuel engine system. And with that, I think that our cargo vessel can be, well, called relatively completed. I have a good old propeller back here, a rudder, 2 secondary guns as a primary form of defense for the ship, just small little AA guns like this to ward off small enemies if this ship happens to get caught in a somewhat of a crossfire between our main fleet and an enemy fleet that would potentially come and destroy us. The material storage is, well, for the most part filled up. We do have quite a bit of stuff left in this resource ring here, which I will be throwing on some material storages later, as far as that is concerned. For now, I have a small little AI mainframe, and of course the AI is not set up correctly yet, but well, I can always do that in the future. I'd rather not bore you with the specifics and details of something so mundane, but it does fill the time slot, and I do have to say I love filling the time slot, and well, it's kind of fun to every once in a while build something like this, so I will cut back once I am in another battle, shall we say. Oh, and what do we have here? It looks as though the Deepwater Guard are sending out a little bit of a scuttlebug, or scuttle gun, rather, to fight our resource zone, or try to capture our square back. Well, we can't have that happening now, can we? Looks like our fleet is ready to go, so I'm going to move them into position and start the battle. And it appears the enemy has fallen for our trap. So, we will in fact fight them here and now, and we will, well, we're going to end up destroying them. I don't want to capture this. I don't really care. And here we go. On board our lovely battleship, and make sure that everyone is able to fire, because I never remember that right away. So our ships should absolutely annihilate this single poor little enemy, which actually has quite a cool design, if I do say so myself. And yeah. Well, that was kind of depressing. Our ships just completely trampled over this guy. And how much do you have? 30,000. Well, I think I need to make another weather balloon type situation, or I could just simply pull it and have it maneuver to here, or rather all the way up in the air. Good sir. Oh boy, it looks like they have a bit of a fleet line coming here to try and stop us from stealing all of their zones, but that's too bad because they can't really do anything because we're already in their zones, and there's nothing they can do to push us back. If they try to push us back, wow, that got really speedy. I don't know what happened to you, but okay. Ooh, 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 ooh. It appears that we have a bit of a base over here, worth a bit of money and materials. Well, that'll be good. But let me capture this up and do some more stuff before we happen to do anything of that. I finished the cargo vessel as well, so we're now gathering material from this, and it's not wasting any time or anything, just having it sit there. So we will actually be able to have some nice material storage. And I'm not exactly sure how we get all materials to show up at once down here in the corner. But that's okay. We don't need to. Oh, look at this rat's nest over here. We've got a bunch of tortugas, the fishing hole, a marauder, and it looks like they're sending some... Oh god, what is this? Frantic chicken. No, they're sending some airship reinforcements to stop our advance.
Listening.
I think we're going to go ahead and
out.
capture this little area here before anybody else gets there, since we already have this tile. Hopefully these guys are not intercepting our tile or intercepting our forces, and we can go about our business, though it does look like they are converging rather quickly, as well as the Tortuga on the tail. So we will have another fight here in a minute. And this is going to be a fun time. So, let's begin. Oh man, let's stop before we do anything because our ship has decided to spawn over here with the camera. This looks like a angry chicken. That is a lot of tiny little missiles coming out of the wings of the chicken. You are the Tortuga, if I remember the name correctly. Oh, you're kind of like a shark. That is a very neat design. Okay. Hopefully our missile cruisers and our little battleship over here can handle these forces. I have confidence in myself, though, so let's begin. Ooh, ow. Battleship's taking a beating, but that is what it's designed to do. Tortuga is getting clapped by the spam frag missiles, as well as the angry chicken being absolutely obliterated by the main guns of the battleship. All going according to plan. I wonder if we could capture this, although it is an airship, so it's unlikely. Airships are usually not very capturable, and we'll have to just take the scrap instead. Although it does look like the angry chicken has been destroyed completely. Yes, that is what that indicates. And you are too damaged, good sir. And with that, our little battle is completed. Battleship holding up extremely well against enemy fire. Still have not even lost a block on the side armor, it looks like, though we have lost a couple at the top. Although we are at 100% structural integrity, I am really, really surprised at how durable this little pre-dreadnought style battleship is actually being. Well, that's a good thing to know. We will go ahead and pull our forces out of play.
Moving out.
Push them back to the capture point, and we will capture this tile as our own. Ah, it looks like another Tortuga is on its way, and we do have a lot of scrap materials lying around here, but we can go ahead and collect those later if we like. The Deepwater Guard are actually making quite a bit of a pushback on the Onyx watch up here, as well as us down here, so why don't we begin the battle with this guy from super far away and see just how accurate our main cannons are. Ah, yes. Back at it again with a little bit of a battle. Main cannons firing swimmingly, and the enemy ship over here. Oh dear, it's sending drone craft. Well, it appears to be a Deepwater Guard aircraft carrier. I did not know that. I thought that this was the... This must be the Tortuga. I don't know what we fought last time, the shark-looking thing, but that's okay. Too low. No, that's unfortunate. It's a kind of cute little craft here. Oh, look at that. Kind of cute little craft here with like a big cram cannon. It's like a bomb bay, it appears, as they've all sunk. Not quite too sure why, but it's good for me, it's bad for them. Our missile cruisers don't really appear to be firing. Oh, maybe it's because I've left most of them out of the battle. Good job me. I'm gonna go ahead and take manual steering of the battleship, just so that we don't beach ourselves. Please, battleship, don't beach yourself. You would be extremely wise not to do so. It's too late. Well, good to know that we should not engage this enemy until it's further in range. Make sure that all my ships are targeted.
Now.
That's good, that's good. Although the missile cruisers might be in the fight, I just didn't click the slider up, so they might be over the supposed weight limit. Yes, there is one spawning in now. That is exactly the case. Though our singular missile cruiser and our singular battleship are taking the brunt of the blows quite well. This little aircraft carrier looks to be such a pain in the frickin' rear. Well,
Listening.
I'm gonna try to steal that, actually, because I kinda want to. It has already gone to 2 damaged. Well, that's just a bit unfortunate, isn't it? And goodbye, Mr. Carrier, sir. You were a worthy opponent. But you didn't last enough. Well, that has been an excellent couple of rounds there of fighting. They do appear to have torpedoes incoming from the battleship, so we're just going to do a little bit of pull all and
Listening.
reposition. A bit of a
Moving out.
cheatsy maneuver, but honestly, I'm not too concerned about it. If I can go, yes. Well, this has been another episode of the From the Depths Neater campaign. I hope you all enjoyed. I hope you, I hope you'll do the basic YouTuber stuff, as always. And I'd like to invite you to the next episode of the campaign mode, which will be coming sometime soon. So, this is goodbye.